Here's a question. Why do 30% of all new businesses fail within 2 years? And why does it grow to 50% in 5 years and a staggering 70% in 10 years? Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Pursuit of Value podcast. This is the second episode in season 3, and we're diving deep into business strategy. Now, last episode, we talked about rethinking business strategy, what it is, and more importantly, what it isn't. If you missed that episode, be sure to check it out. Today, we're going to be helping you avoid becoming part of those statistics by sharing a simple, actionable framework for building and executing a business strategy that actually drives results. Now, most small businesses don't fail because they lack vision. They fail because they can't turn that vision into daily action and culture. Let's fix that. Now, our goal is to give you a practical, easy to follow framework for building, aligning, and executing a business strategy that delivers real measurable growth. The problem, though, too many small businesses either operate without a formal strategy or fail to translate their vision into daily actions. This happens all the time, all over the world. Even fewer ensure that their teams are truly aligned and equipped to execute the plan. And oftentimes, a lot of people in the company don't even know that a plan exists. Only about 33 to 40% of small businesses have a documented strategy, and 90% of those strategies fail during execution. Now, there is a solution. Today, we're going to break down a simple disciplined approach. This is inspired by the book Winning Moves from Dan Crimmins that aligns your priorities, actions, and company culture. This framework prioritizes the right inputs, it measures what matters, and helps you lead with purpose and adaptability. Now, what I like about it the most is that it's simple. It's really easy to create and follow. And you can start with one or you can, have 10. So let's jump into it. So we're going to go through the framework and then we're going to jump into some examples later on. So here's the framework. Step number 1, you define your business priorities. What is critical for success in your business? And then number 2, define your value driver. What will you impact? What is going to bring the most value? Step number 3, define your objective. What will you deliver? And then step number 4, define your key actions. What will you do? And this is critical to execution. And then number 5, how do you measure it? Define your KPI. How will you know you're successful? Now, this whole plan is all about the power of the right inputs. The quality of your results is directly tied to the quality and alignment of your efforts, your resources, and crucially, your intangible inputs. Now, those inputs are like mindset, culture, and character. These secret sauce elements often separate high-performing businesses from the rest because you need to be aligned. You can do actions all day long, but if you don't have the right culture and the right people, it's going to be a tough go. So here's a pro tip. The greatest intangible asset in your business is your mindset. Now, if you've watched any of these episodes that I've done, season 1, season 2, I talk a lot about business owner mindset because in my experience, that is the difference between a good company and a great company. All successful business owners embody a growth mindset, period. They welcome change and they take calculated risks. They stay focused on what matters most and continually work on enhancing their own leadership skills. Now, let's talk about these intangible inputs a little bit more. The secret sauce, mindset. You have to cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that you and your team can improve effort and learning. And man, I can't tell you how many times I've sat with business owners and they just do not believe that they could change the way that they currently operate. They don't understand. They've hit roadblock after roadblock, and they've just built this wall in their mind that they can't change. So you have to have a growth mindset, especially if you want to see change. Character and culture. Build a values-driven culture that aligns your team and supports innovation. You've got to get everybody on the same page. You have to have a culture of that. And then embrace change. I just mentioned it, but you have to be able to believe that change is possible for the better. Growth means stepping outside your comfort zone and challenging the status quo. And then daily execution. Strategy only matters if it's executed consistently with clear accountability. Can't tell you how many times I've had really awesome strategy sessions and then the weekend's over or the planning session is over. that plan is tabled and we never talk about it again. That happens all the time. All right. So let's go through the framework with some real world examples. So this first example is, let's say you decide that you want to reduce employee turnover. So your priority, what is critical for your success, is to reduce turnover to maintain productivity in your company. Now, the value driver, step 2, what will you impact? You're going to impact employee engagement and satisfaction. And then number 3, what's your objective? What will you deliver? You're going to decrease voluntary turnover by 15% in 12 months. All right. Now, your key action to accomplish that objective, what will you do? And what will you do each day? What will you do each week? You're going to launch a mentorship program. You're going to offer flexible work, and you're going to conduct stay interviews with your employees. And so, see, you're going to actually dig into some very specific things that you're going to implement each day, each week, to make sure that you can accomplish this priority and meet the objective. Now, how will you know that you're going to be successful? Well, you're going to see a turnover rate that's going to go down. You're going to have an employee net promoter score, and then you're going to have internal promotion rate. So see, you're going to create KPIs that are attached and aligned with this business priority. Now let's talk about the secret sauce. What was the intangible behind this business priority to decrease turnover? Well, you're going to have a growth mindset. You're going to believe that you can change this turnover rate. You're going to have a culture of recognition. You're going to start recognizing the employees, and the employees are going to start becoming a critical part of your everyday life, understanding that if you want to change the current behavior, you're going to have to change the culture. And then you're going to have weekly manager check-ins. You're going to change what you've been doing and implement something new. Now, what are the outputs of this new strategy that you just put in? Well, number 1, you're going to lower the recruitment costs, and you're going to have stronger team cohesion, and you're going to have a higher customer satisfaction because your employees are going to be more engaged, which is going to have a direct impact on your customers. All right, let's look at example number 2. And this is a common one. That's why I put it in here. Increasing sales. Now, your priority to increase sales, what is critical for success? You want to grow your revenue by expanding market share. Okay. So what is the value driver behind this? What will you impact? Well, customer acquisition and conversion rate. You're going to turn more leads into customers. What's your objective? What will you deliver? You're going to deliver, and you're going to achieve 20% sales growth in 6 months. All right. So what are your key actions going to be in order to achieve that 20%? What will you do? Well, lead generation and conversion optimization. You're going to increase your lead generation and the conversion rate. Now, how will you know that you're successful? Well, new leads generated and a higher conversion rate. What's the intangible secret sauce? You're going to embrace change once again, believe that you can actually change your current situation. You're going to have an execution focus. You're going to have your salespeople very focused on this very specific thing of generating more leads and converting more customers. And then you're also going to have a customer-centric culture. Again, you're going to change the paradigm. You're going to change the culture of your company. What are the outputs? Higher revenue, improved lifetime value, and stronger brand visibility. Now, I want to talk about the key actions breakdown because this is really where the rubber meets the road. Every key action in these 2 examples that I put together, every key action should be divided into manageable steps that can be addressed daily. And this is the key to effectively executing a strategic plan. We're going to explore this even further in our next episode because it is so important. Now, I've done so much strategic planning over the years, and if there's no sense of urgency to accomplish the plan, it will not be successful. You can create the plan, you can write the plan, you can implement the plan, pass it out to everybody, and everybody sees it. But if you as the owner don't have a sense of urgency, and we had an episode on this, and if you can't translate that sense of urgency throughout the company as a part of your culture, then it's probably going to fail, because you need to be able to have you and your team step in each and every day with a sense of urgency, knowing that you've got some really key priorities. So we're going to talk about that in the next episode. And we're going to talk about breaking down the key actions. All right. So execution and measurement. The KPIs must be smart. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. If you don't have KPIs that actually make sense and that you can measure, then how will you ever know that you're actually going to be making change and that you're going to be successful? So you need to monitor the KPIs monthly or quarterly, and you have to adjust as needed. If there's a KPI that you put in place, or if there's something to measure that you put in place that just doesn't make sense, don't be scared to change it. Just change it. You got to find something that works. And then leadership and feedback. Owners and leaders should seek feedback, adapt their style, and keep everyone clear on priorities and progress. Again, it's about execution, it's about focus, and it's about a sense of urgency. And the leadership needs to take the charge on this, take the lead, and make sure that everybody understands what the priorities are and understand that, you know what, there might have to be some changes, and that's okay. All right, let's wrap this up. So here's a summary and a checklist for a strategic roadmap. So number one, focus on only when you start this, focus on only 3 to 5 clear business priorities. Don't make 10. There's no way you're going to accomplish 10. Start with 3 and then maybe expand it to 5, but really focus on what is the most important. So define your priorities, what is critical for success. Start with 3 to 5. Don't overwhelm yourself. Define your value driver. What will you impact? Define your objective, what you will deliver, and then define your key actions. What will you do? So important. And then lastly, define your KPI. How will you know you're successful? And then as you're developing this strategy with this framework, don't neglect the secret sauce. That's invest in a growth mindset, starting with you. Understand that a strong culture and adaptability are important. And then you got to review, adapt, and improve continuously. So these plans that you put together, they're not just fixed. They're going to be movable. They need to be addressed all the time. All right, here's the bottom line. Planning is only the first step. The real differentiator is execution, aligning your team and operations around what matters most, tracking progress and adapting as you go. Most businesses fail not because they lack vision, but because they don't translate that vision into daily action and culture. Use this framework. It's simple, it's easy. Invest in your secret sauce and unlock the growth you're aiming for. Now, if you're ready to rethink how you approach business growth, start by tuning in to more episodes of the Pursuit of Value podcast. You can see that on our website. Thanks for listening. And remember, growth isn't just about having a plan. It's about making it happen every single day. We'll see you next time.